जी, जी सर, आपका आवाज़ आ रही है।
आ रही है ना।
जी, जी, जी।
हो गया, चालू हो गया, नहीं हुआ?
हाँ, हो गया सर, स्टार्ट मीटिंग चालू हो गई है, आपका वीडियो भी आ रही है, स्क्रीन आप करेंगे शेयर कि मैं करूँ सर स्क्रीन?
नहीं, आप इस जो पीपीटी है वो आप शेयर करिएगा,
ओके,
है ना।
जी, जी।
आ, वो पीपीटी आप शेयर करेंगे तो क्या हो जाएगा कि यहाँ पे भी दिखाएगा मुझे, है ना।
जी हाँ, जी हाँ, दिखेगा।
हाँ,
है ना?
तो
ठीक है सर, मैं यस सर, वी कैन स्टार्ट नाउ, मैं स्क्रीन शेयर कर दे रहा हूँ। जी।
ओके।
ये सब स्टार्ट करिए सर मीटिंग आप।
ओके।
ओके।
Dear friends, namaskar and a very warm good evening to you all. It's my privilege to be in front of the heads of the institution who are bearing the responsibilities of government flagship project, that is government English medium schools across the state. Dear friends, you all will agree that the documentation and record maintenance is the backbone of any institution for its smooth functioning. Hence, in today's session, we shall interact on the same, and I believe that I would be able to draw your attention on some of the untouched segments of this field. So, friends, let us uh, come to our uh, PowerPoint presentation.
So it's visible to you?
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
okay. So, friends, uh, here we are with our first slide uh, that is related to the definition why record maintenance and documentation is needed for the smooth functioning of any institution. And today we are talking with respect to our schools. Friends, uh, it's my, I can say that it's my personal experience when I was lecturer. Then at that time, a student was missing from the school, and uh, by the grace of God, uh, her uh, attendance was marked absent on that particular day when she was missing. But in spite of that proper maintenance of record, our fellow teachers and principals, they suffered a lot for that, and that's why uh, that gave me a lesson that while you are working as head of the institution, you should be very very careful while uh, maintaining your records and documenting it. So an example or an experience from mine I have shared you in my first slide. Friends, next slide please. Look the next slide. Deepak, the next slide, please. Hello.
Yes,
Deepak, the
sir.
next slide.
Okay, sir.
So friends, here we are with the definition of record maintenance management. And according to Olive, I would like to quote: the importance of good record keeping transcends into short and long term benefits and affects the overall achievement of educational objectives. It is the next slide.
So it is visible the importance of record keeping.
Yes, importance of record keeping.
Yes, sir.
So why record keeping is very important? Uh, I would like to quote Ololu. He said that the importance of good record keeping transcends into short and long term benefits and affects the overall achievement of educational objectives. Friends, if the poor record maintenance is performed by the head of the institution, and if he is not vigilant recording, he is not vigilant uh, while maintaining the record, then it is quite obvious that the institution's functioning will have many of the lessons, and that will uh, that can trouble the head of the institution in various times. Record keeping generally concerns the administrative activities that are concerned with achieving cost effectiveness and efficiency in creation, maintenance, use, and disposal of records of educational institutions throughout their entire life cycle, and making the information they contain accessible in support of the school business administration. Thus, it is essential that records are kept in school for effective administration, because proper record keeping facilitates retrieval of valuable information that might be helpful in a day-to-day operation and decision making in a school system. Next slide, Deepak ji. Next slide. Next. So, what are the objectives of record maintenance and documentation? Previous slide. Deepak ji, previous slide. Accountability. Yeah.
Okay.
The first objective of record maintenance and documentation is the accountability. Record keeping is vital to an education system information cycle as a whole because of its fundamental role in the process of efficient information production and collection. School records are an important mean of accountability because they provide proof. Records such as cash book and stock books help to ensure accountability as they show income, expenditure, stock levels in a school. These cash and the stock books can then be made available to auditors on demand for auditing the school fund and facilities. So we all are very well aware while auditors come to our school, then uh, proper maintenance of cash book and stock book is very important. And I have seen some of the principals who have faced many problems due to poor maintenance of these records. Next slide, please. The second objective of record maintenance and decision making is it helps the school administrators to make objective decision on uh, some of the issues like student and staff discipline and teaching and learning performances. The third one is performance appraisal. Of course, a good record keeping provides us uh, information while at the end of our session we write CR or the performance appraisal. So consistent information kept about employees can also be used in employee performance appraisal. We in our school have a 12-page performance appraisal. So it is very much needed that school record must be maintained so that we can properly write the CR of our teachers and other employees. Next slide, please. Good record keeping, the third objective is guidance counselors. In our schools, we all have career counselors in our school. Uh, some teachers are have certified career counselor course from IGNU and other institution. So a good record keeping gives a holistic picture of the student regarding their performance uh, in academics, in extracurricular activities, and this helps counselor to track students' progress. The next objective is information bank. Record kept in school serve as an information bank from which a school administrator can recall information as needed. It's quite clear. Next slide, please. Information for parents. Some parents are very curious about the performance and the progress of their uh, child's academic and other uh, performance, and if the record are properly maintained by the class teacher and other teachers who are related to the student, like our sports teacher or the teacher who is in charge of co-curricular activities. In such case, the parents can be appeased by giving the proper information about their children. Next one, the objective is planning. So, yeah, planning. Accurate data assess educational planners to identify areas of need that should be addressed or accorded priority attention. Student academic achievement and behavior certificates and testimonials are issued to our students to show how they perform during their studies. And properly kept records can help considerably in the accurate production of thorough certificates and testimonials. Next slide. The next objective is subject timetable. We all know that school timetable help in coordination of staff and student activities and work. Keeping track of timetables from year to year can help a school and school administrators determine which combination of class and teaching assignments work best to optimize teaching and learning. The next objective is facilitation for inspecting authorities. The availability of records enables inspecting authorities to objectively assess the student and staff performance and offer advice and or proposals for improvement. The next segment is type of school records. Friends, school records can be classified in two types: statutory and non-statutory records. Statutory records are records prescribed by education edicts and laws of a state which must be maintained by school administrators, whereas non-statutory records, while not prescribed by law, are equally as important to the smooth functioning of a school. And following documents are identified as the records found in a school and a school system. The first one is admission and withdrawal register. We all know that the admission register and the withdrawal register are of hello. Okay. The admission and withdrawal register. The admission and withdrawal register shows the name of students that are enrolled each year in various classes in a school and the names of those who withdrew from various classes in the school. And we all know that these records are of very much importance because after 50 years, one can ask for the uh, mission record for say passport services or the for the verification of age or uh, any other purpose. So the admission register should be hello. Uh, Next slide, please.
Yes, yes, sir. Okay.
Next one. Deepak, the next one. Yes. The second one is the attendance register. Uh, as I told you that it is a very important uh, document regarding to the day-to-day attendance of our students in class. And at the end of every term, the class teacher closes the register and submits it to the school head to cross-check and sign. So the attendance register should be maintained properly and present or absent should be marked on daily basis because we all have seen that the class teacher put a dot mark while the student is absent and if some mishaps happens to the student outside of the school and in any case if a dot sign or a present sign because uh, their friends the friends of the students sometimes they give proxy attendance for their student. If all this happen, then uh, case of any mishap, the teacher has to face a very unpleasant situation, as well as the head of the institution, that is principal, have to face the same situation. Next, class timetable are a record of how, when, and where classes are held. Please keep students organized and about coming class and help the students to manage their time and schedule. Education ethics and laws. Like we have Shiksha Sanhita uh, as our education edict and Suvidha handbook. These are the education edicts and laws which should be made available to the teachers and the head of the institution should be well versed about the various laws and the proclamations issued by authorities that have the force of law. So various circular, they are of very much importance, and they should be maintained properly. Because these circulars can be used as references for any situation if situation demands the circular or the law that has made by a government. Deepak ji, next. Health records. These health records, we in all our schools we are keeping health record register, which gives us detail regarding to the health of the student, whether in our Chhattisgarh we are having sickling patients. Many of our students are sickling and other illness, and it should be maintained in our records so that if
आवाज नहीं आ रहा है सर।
तो
हाँ सर, आवाज कम आ रही है सर।
आवाज कम आ रही है।
जी
हेलो,
जी,
अभी
हेलो।
हाँ
हाँ ठीक है सर, ठीक जी।
So we should maintain health records because sometimes we see that our student falls sick in while school running hours, and if we don't know about the history of their illness, because for example in Chhattisgarh many of our students are uh, are having sickling problem, sickle cell anemia, and some have other illness also. And in case they fall sick in school running hours, then this record will help us to provide proper health uh, facility to the student. The next one is individual cumulative record card. Record card. Individual cumulative record. This is continuous record card, or a combination of records that contain comprehensive information about a student. It provides a summary of student's academic progress in a school and also includes the student's name, age, date, birth, date of admission, family background, social and extracurricular activities, etc. Next is lesson plan. We all know that the lesson plans are records kept to guide teachers during their teaching activities. These are written on weekly basis to determine what and how the teacher will teach. A lesson plan is developed based on the school's scheme of work, unit plan, or curriculum. It is presented to the head teacher for assessment, signature, date, and name before it can be used for teaching. The next record is logbook. In some of the schools I have seen they have logbook that if a student leaves the school premises before uh, the school ends. A proper entry is done on that logbook that for what purpose the student has left the school, and the similar record is kept for the teachers and other staffs. And it is a important say document uh, to record, to keep the track of significant happenings that take place in the school. Next slide, please. NCF, National Curriculum Framework. We don't have NCF in our school, and many of our teachers and our fellow friends, uh, they are not aware of the National Curriculum Framework, and now we have new National Education Policy, NEP. Friends, the National Curriculum Framework, it this policy covers early childhood, primary, secondary, and higher education. It also includes adult and non-formal education, technical and vocational education, distance education, educational services, planning, administration, and supervision, and financing education. If we go through the provisions of National Curriculum Framework, we can, I say, we can make our planning according to the National Curriculum Framework, that what are the objectives of education and what society and government uh, is seeking that our schools should uh, provide to our students. Next is disciplinary records. Disciplinary records are kept to protect a student from arbitrary punishment from teachers and to exonerate teachers from unwarranted criticism by parents or students. In most cases, the school head approve any disciplinary action before it is administered to a student or students, and record concerning the disciplinary action and its approval are documented for future references. So disciplinary records protect the students from the arbitrary punishment. We have seen that some teachers uh, give corporal punishment, and they beat uh, and harass physically in a very brutal manner, and in some cases the student commit a suicide. And after such unpleasant situations, teacher and the school has to face very uh, unpleasant situation. So to protect the student from this type of arbitrary punishment from teachers, and of course uh, teachers from the parents, if disciplinary records, hello. So
Yes, sir. Sir, next.
disciplinary records, they also keep safe teachers from the unwarranted criticism by parents or students. The next one is school cash book. School cash book. We all know the importance of school cash book, and maintaining the school cash book is it should be on the top priority of the school heads as well as the concerning in charge of various funds. Next one is school stock book. You know that uh, while auditors come to our school, they ask for these two records: school cash book and school stock book. If they are maintained properly, the auditing work uh, can it accomplishes very smoothly. The next one is school timetable and daily diary. So school timetable is prepared for coordinating student, teachers, subject, and time slots in a school system. And the other important uh, record is daily diary. So daily diary, friends, it helps to keep teachers motivated, and uh, it ensures the continuity of their teaching and to complete the syllabus by the end of the term. Next slide. The staff and the student movement book details the entry and exit of the staff and students in a school, uh, if the staff or a student leaves the school premises before the closing time, then this type of register can be maintained. The logbook works the same. Next is transfer certificate. You know that these certificates are of utmost importance. Next record is visitor book. Visitors book. The purpose of visitors book is to keep record of the names and addresses of visitors, date and time of visits, purpose of visits, and who the visitors requested to visit. Next is syllabus, and the other one is curriculum. Friends, uh, whereas syllabus is an outline and a summary of topics to be covered in a school, curriculum is a set of subjects uh, and their content offered at a school, which provides an insight that what should be the uh, minimum learning level in a particular subject or on in a particular topic uh, a student should achieve. The next segment of record maintenance and documentation is characteristics of good record management. So for good record management, uh, some of the characteristics of good record management are: first one is completeness. Next slide. The first characteristic is completeness. This means the record should provide all the information needed to plan and make effective decisions. Second is cost. This means the record keeping should be cost effective. It shouldn't be too expensive. Third one is the flexibility. Fourth one is quality. The quality of any information contained in any record must be accurate and reliable. The greater the accuracy and reliability, the higher the quality of information and more likely the information system is to work well. Next is relevance. A relevant record is one that is useful to the needs of the system. But what we see in our schools that a good deal of irrelevant information is kept, particularly in schools. Data that has no longer relevance and not required by law should be securely disposed of. Next characteristic is quality of the information must be accurate and reliable. Relevance. And next is retention and disposition of. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Previous slide, please. Slide number 23. Next is retention and disposition of records. The disposition of records does not entirely mean destruction. Next, 24. Slide number 24. The disposition of records does not entirely mean destruction. Disposition can also include transfer of records to a historical archive. In the case of schools, However, most records are disposed of when no longer needed. The public official concerned may destroy these records upon expiration of the retention period. Next is timeliness. Timeliness means the retrievable of uh, data should be retrievable as per the need of the authorities. The next one is variability. It means the degree of consensus arrived at among various users examining the record. The greater the consensus among users, the more accepted the record. And the last one is maintenance. The maintenance of records involves all activities that ensures that they are in good condition and kept in an orderly state. The next segment is safely managing and preserving school records. So friends, school record management involves storage, retrieval, and use of information. It is the application of systematic and scientific control to all the recorded information that school need for school administration. Poor record management result in difficulties in administering, planning, and monitoring of educational system. In fact, poor record management and the lack of staff development with regards to the entire information cycle are responsible for a number of management and policy implementation problems in schools. The management of school records involves all activities that ensure that they are in good condition and kept in orderly state. Some important ways in which record can be safely managed and preserved are as follows. Next slide. Classification. This is the method of arranging records and files perfectly into groups according to subjects. It ensures that school records are arranged in a logical order. This means the files should have their specific places and can be retrieved without snag and significant losses. File storage. After a classification system has been determined and files have been labeled, files should then be arranged accordingly and kept in a filing cabinet drawer. A filing cabinet or cabinet should be used for this purpose. The cabinet drawer in which the files are housed must be labeled clearly and the files appropriately organized so as to maintain the relationship of the files to one another. Next one is file maintenance. It is important to check the files periodically to ensure that they are in good condition. Since they are prone to wear and tear, some records in files may be loose and could fall out easily. This should be securely attached and reattached. Next one, check out when records or files are lent to users. A system must be worked out that tracks where and when certain files or records were lent to a user. Small cards may be designed to enable efficient control over the flow of files. Safety from various natural factors. School records should be properly arranged and secured from natural hazards such as flooding, insects, rain, sun, termite, and wind. So friends, after objectives, types of record, characteristics of good record management, and preservation of school records, we come to our conclusion regarding record maintenance and documentation. It says that school records can document any activity that falls within the normal activities of the school. School records contain information important to the daily running and long-term planning of the schools. The poor record management results in difficulties in administering, planning, and monitoring of educational system. In fact, poor school record management with regards to the entire information cycle are responsible for a number of management and policy implementation problems in school. Hence, a very organized record maintenance and documentation is the utmost need to run a school smoothly. So friends, with this last slide, we come to an end of today's session of record maintenance and documentation. I hope that you will find this helpful in managing your school records.